The people who run our society, the politicians, the tech billionaires, the media people, all these people hate this country. They have horrible plans for it. Everything you know and love, they want to burn it all to the ground. But the problem is, we have this representative republic thing, not a democracy, keep in mind, representative republic thing, where the people every so often will go out and they'll vote on leadership. And that's a real problem. You see, leadership wants to burn it down. The people who live here don't want to burn it down. So what are you going to do? If you're one of the leaders, you could, of course, reform your ways, change your view, maybe don't want to burn it down, but that's not how these people think. These people see themselves as kings and queens, and they're, of course, right. And you, stupid peasant, you don't know what's best for you. So they're not going to change. What do? Instead, open up the border. It's easy. If we're going to take a vote, and the population doesn't like what I want, I'll just bring in a bunch of people who do. Look, the illegals know it.
Do you care?
Yeah. No.
You don't care that we have to pay for all of this?
Look, listen.
Like Americans are paying for all of this. Do you guys, know that? Like this, money doesn't come out of nowhere.
Look, if
right?
I pay $7,000 for America, it's...
So because you paid $7,000, then it's okay if we pay something.
I don't care if this is for America. I don't care.
So you're because you paid $7,000.
Yeah.
It's okay that Americans have to pay some money too.
Yeah, because America is my dream. Thank you, and thank you, Joe Biden, for everything. We love you, Joe Biden.
You said thank you, Joe Biden?
Now, maybe you're boiling with rage right now. Maybe you're rolling your eyes at that guy. But set that aside for a moment. Set the emotion aside for a moment. Let me ask you something. That human being or his children one day receives citizenship and the ability to vote in this country. Do you think there's anything you, a person on the right, could say to him that will have him vote Republican? What are you going to do? Appeal to the Constitution? You're going to talk to him about low taxes, abortion, foreign policy? Do you think any of those things are going to tug at that guy's heart and have him vote for you? No. That is a guaranteed communist vote for the rest of America. And that is the grand plan. And that is why you see so much of what you see right now in the House, in the Senate. You see the GOP, to their credit, and I'm loath to give them credit, the GOP, to their credit, they attached Ukraine funding to border security. And Democrats are, of course, freaking out about it. What? We can't do that! But I've got some real bad news for Ukraine. The American communist, he's not going to set aside his open border plans for you. You see, an open border flooding this country with people disloyal to this nation, people who will financially destroy this nation, that is a central part of the American communists' plan to burn this country to the ground. And I don't care what country it is, Ukraine, Israel, anybody. None of you are going to get priority over that. Because for the American Democrat, for the American communists, both the elected ones, the media, tech, whatever, for them, remember, America is the height of all evil, and burning it down is the most noble thing they can possibly do for this country. Insane, illogical, evil, oh yeah, all those things are most definitely there. Nevertheless, that's the country we live in now. All right? Talk to Senator Ron Johnson about that right about now. So, joining me now is the great senator from the state of Wisconsin, Senator Ron Johnson. Senator, I got a little chuckle out of this one from Senator Chuck Schumer.
Both parties understand that aiding Ukraine and resisting Putin are critical for our national security. But Republicans, and only Republicans, are holding everything up because of unrealistic, maximalist demands on the border. Republicans would be giving Vladimir Putin the best gift he could ask for.
Senator, could you break down for us what are these unrealistic, what did he call it, maximalist positions that you're taking on the border?
We want to secure it. And it was just that simple.
Yes.
And we would be doing
Yes.
we would be doing Biden and the Democrats an enormous political favor if they would recognize what we're doing for them and let us help them secure the border. The open border caused by President Biden and the Democrats it's a clear and present danger to America. And I've always believed that it was really the president's first responsibility to keep America safe, to actually address clear and present dangers. In this case, this president, this administration, their allies in Congress caused the clear and present dangers. So again, we have secured the border. It's got to be our top priority. And the only leverage we have right now is the funding that this administration claims it wants for Ukraine. I'm not so sure about that. I'm not so sure about that.
Explain that. Why aren't you so sure about that? All these people do is talk about Ukraine. They talk about Ukraine 10 times as much as they talk about America. You don't think they want this money?
Well, we're just sort of hearing scuttlebutt behind the scenes that if push comes to shove, their true constituency are not Ukrainians. It's the dreamers. It's the radical leftists. It's the individuals that are protesting in support of Hamas and Palestine. That is the Democrats' constituency. And if push comes to shove, they would much rather, throw Ukraine under the bus and not secure the border, because that is what their constituency wants. They want an open border.
What a shock. What a shock. Senator, could you please explain why any party, Democrat or Republican, would want to flood the country with illegals who have no loyalty to this nation whatsoever? Now, we talk a lot about bipartisanship, which is the lamest word ever, but that should be a pretty bipartisan thing. If you're an American senator, congressman, president, securing the border should be bipartisan, unless, of course, you wanted to burn the country down.
Look what they're doing, for example, in New York. They're letting non-citizens vote in local elections. They're promoting things like mail-in balloting, obviously expand the application of absentee balloting, while they relax virtually all the controls over those absentee ballots, even though the Baker-Carter Commission, totally bipartisan commission, said that absentee balloting is probably the greatest potential for fraud in our election system. This is what the Democrats are pushing. So you figure out all the ways they are trying to make it easy to cheat in elections, and then you realize that they've let probably more than 6 million people into this country since Joe Biden became president. Even though it's widely unpopular, they're still doing it. And they're again, claim that they want support for Ukraine, and all Republicans are saying, fine, we're sympathetic with the Ukrainian people's plight as well, but we just think the first priority should be to secure our border. So why don't we strike a deal? We'll secure the border, you can get your Ukrainian funding, and that's called compromise. They're not interested in that compromise. They want an open border because I think long term, they view those people are going to be grateful to them. They will vote for Democrats, and it's all about power when it comes to Democrats. They want to do everything they can to maintain and grow their power over your life.
Okay, so these illegals, they obviously have plans to get them voting in elections. That's not something that's ever going to fly federally, right? That's not something that can fly federally, right?
It shouldn't. But again, when you start, and you've got jurisdictions where they just mail out ballots to people, there's no control over that whatsoever. And so, they'll make sure that these populations of people who've been let in by the Biden administration, they'll probably get those mail-in ballots as well. I was in a small town in Wisconsin, about 15,000 population. They estimate their migrant population from this latest surge is about 5,000 people, over 400 kids in their schools speaking a different dialect. Their bilingual teachers need translators, okay? It's overwhelming their systems. But, this is what Democrats are allowing to happen.